Welcome everybody to the Oreo Show today. Blavasi here with Spoos.
Yep.
And
Genie.
welcome.
Hey.
First day.
First day back or in.
Now we have
Not
three
right.
people. We can get this talk on the road.
Oh yeah.
But today we're going to start off with...
What?
Your topic of choice.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. I'm dumb. It's a good thing this is recorded. Okay, so I just brought it to Blavasi. Just a really stupid thought that I had earlier today. You know, so like a bunch of these stupid ass like big corporations are making all this money every year. And, you know, they're treating their employees like crap. You know, the people at the very bottom of the totem pole and anyone who doesn't, like, hit that, like, glass ceiling that everyone gets to be, like, an executive making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And since no one really wants to fix the tax loopholes that we have for taxing people who make a certain margin over a year, there's a lot of loopholes in our tax laws. I presented the question, what if, like, everyone in the States just quit their job and just reapplied using, asking for a starting salary of like $50 an hour. Whether they make like $100,000 a year, everyone just like asks the people who are at the very top, you know, what would happen if that kind of thing happened? And
Well,
I was just
Well, you know, I kind of think that if that were to happen, well, they would be kind of forced to, you know, they'd be like, we don't know. We would be like, you know, we need people to work, and we can't really, because I honestly feel that they wouldn't be able to afford, like, you know, everybody getting paid $50 an hour, like where we work at.
yeah.
What the highest pay for at least the people that I know of is like $40 an hour. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's like a driver, right?
Yeah,
If
that's
you're
like a
driving.
driver. So
Drivers start at like
that's like
$24
for after like
an hour at this point.
it's after 5 years though. So.
Yeah, that's a long time.
This
You know
is
what I'm
kind of like when I go home from work and I want to go cook breakfast,
Yeah.
but I can't because I gotta have some clean dishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to clean dishes in my sink, but then my sink's full. And then so I gotta empty my sink stuff into the dishwasher, and I open the dishwasher's full of clean dishes, right? So I'm like, wait, I gotta start here. Wait, I gotta start here.
All
Wait.
Right.
So this is trickling all the way back up to whoever's got all the money, wherever this money is coming from. Our employers don't even have it. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like there has to be more work done from. I think the whole idea of the rich not being taxed as much
Yeah.
because the
Well-
man is the authority, has the money, is control of the money. Why would they tax themselves?
Do you-
Exactly.
Do you know how much? Do you know how much taxes the 1% is taxed? Like how much?
I have no idea. Do you?
What do you mean? Like what do rich people pay? Basically,
there's-
rich quote whatever.
Yeah.
There's so
No.
much. There's so much to it. I
They
think.
actually pay like 40% of their earnings is like that's how much is taxed.
Right, but the problem with
Oh,
that is
wow.
like
Yeah.
a lot of the tax law is written so that it has to be.
There are people though that of course that you know they can have like an offshore like,
Yeah,
company
exactly.
and
They
stuff
have
like that.
offshore accounts. They have like off-brand accounts in different companies that are under like a different name or something, and the money coming into them is under a different name, and they write those expenses off as a separate business tax or whatever, and then they can take money that's untraceable in multiple different savings and checking accounts
Totally.
online now at this point, and just process it through, like
Yeah, a
filtering.
good example
like
is on
filtering
Wolf
through
of Wall
different
Street
accounts.
does that, and that's just a movie
There-
using that simple idea.
There is like something I looked up though, like with along with the 40% that they're taxed. I believe it was like the top 1% of like the wealthy. The top 1% pays like I don't remember. I think it's like 60% of like the taxes in the country. Like the top 1% pays like 60% of the taxes in the country, and then the rest of everybody else, like the 99% or something like that, pays like, you know, the rest of it. So like the top 1% pays.
My question is, where's
over
all that
half.
money going? Like we have a lot of.
That's the question.
We have a lot
What is
of
the government doing with the money that they're getting
Bro.
Right.
from all these taxes.
It's not even
It's-
just that.
You
Like,
want to? I think that they're just slipping it right into their
Right.
pocket.
That's
you know
the
what I'm
idea,
saying?
isn't it? Like, you'd think, because, I mean, we're still getting taxed heavily on our paychecks. I'd be making like $100 more at my job.
yeah,
Yeah,
you get
I-
taxed
know.
like 28%.
Right,
Yes.
right.
I calculate
we get
that
taxed
every
heavily, and the more we
single
work,
week.
the more taxes we pay,
Dude, yeah.
which is really, really ridiculous.
Yeah, the
Like,
more
yeah,
you
the-
make, it's like it just gets harder and harder to make more. You just pay more and more
Right.
taxes.
I know there was a driver who told me that at a certain point, we get overtime. So at
Yeah.
a certain point, their overtime, they're pretty much working for free. So like, you know how they work a lot. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So at a certain point in the week,
They're
if they
just
go
working to
overtime
pay
like a
taxes.
certain amount, they're
Basically not
it
getting
just-
paid anymore
yeah,
because the taxes,
they're just
the taxes
taking it
go,
away.
tax bracket.
the tax bracket it increases by a percentage, which goes exponential. It just basically divides the paycheck that you would get down to the nearest cent, essentially. So basically, $10 after 10 hours would be $1
Yeah,
And-
so it's like yeah.
a day,
Yeah,
essentially.
and our
And-
transactions aren't just transactions anymore. Everything is owed.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
everything is borrowed and owed. So like that's what makes people go to work is they have to pay this bill they already
Right,
signed up
right,
for and started
right.
paying and owe money on it. You got a loan for it, so
Mm-hmm.
you owe everything.
And right now with all the inflation, like
Right.
gas is like
Cost of living is going up.
Dude,
and-
it's crazy.
and like the
gas is just
freaking-
one example of that.
Yeah, because of all those pipelines being shut down.
Oh,
Rats
yeah.
in a
Like,
cage, man. And they're like, hey, the less cheese that's in there, the harder these mice work
Right,
for that
they
piece
set
of
it up
cheese.
that like that purposely.
That's,
Yeah, dude.
that's
Makes you frustrated.
it's
and
like a way to
keep
like
going.
entrap people. That's like how like communist systems work. You know what I'm saying? Is they work by making it so that people they're too busy being hungry and looking for like food that they're too occupied to like fight back and like do stuff like protest and stuff because they're too worried about I gotta find food, I'm hungry, I gotta eat.
Right, and that's
know
why
what
you
I'm
see a
saying?
bunch of racist crap on the media just to piss people off,
Right.
get
Yeah.
distracted.
They're like,
Propaganda.
oh.
I mean, the media is your enemy in this
Right,
country
dude.
right
We
now.
all know that,
Propaganda.
and we still are a part of it.
There are some people who just like blindly follow. Like I know somebody who literally, I'm just gonna say it was my mother. She literally told me at one point in time, it was about the mask. You already know that. I abhorrently hate. I hate the mask.
Mask, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she told me at the beginning of this that I was. What was the word she used? So I was being belligerent because I went to Walmart and didn't want to wear a mask when they told me to wear one. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, you should just do it. I mean, I don't trust the government, but, if they tell me to do it, I'm just going to do it.
I don't
And I was like,
it.
what?
Hey, just
No.
conform, dude.
Like,
Conform,
what?
just
I'm like,
conform.
fuck, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. And that made me like, whoa, my mind exploded when she said that. And I was like,
Yeah, I
Okay,
can't help
mother.
but think this goes back to scripture, dude. And I'm not too religious at all. I mean, I don't go to church, but I think Jesus has some awesome wisdom. And I mean, some things are controversial, but even he says don't conform to the world. You know what I mean? He's like, don't just do what everyone is doing.
Right.
That is
Don't bandwagon yourself
Yeah, don't ever do that. Nobody should ever just do something because
for the sake of others,
right.
or well, for the
You
sake
should
of
always have
masses.
a clear goal, have a purpose, and
Unless-
really
Go
think
for
about
that
what
goal,
you're
yeah.
saying.
Unless it's in this case where I was talking about my personal thoughts is that if we were all to do the thing that I asked, as in like asking for incredibly over
Basically,
top.
like everybody goes on strike.
it's like that. The only two choices are let the economy crumble at that point or give in to the demands of the people who are basically giving the money to the companies
you know,
that are already rich.
what I think would be like a solution that could probably work is if instead of like doing that, you know what I'm saying, is if we just got rid of a large portion of the taxes, like income tax, like property tax, like taxes on stuff that you buy, like housing. Like you buy a house and you have to just pay taxes on that forever. You buy a car, you have to pay taxes on that forever. You know what I'm saying? You make money, you have to pay taxes on that. Like I think we need to cut taxes like
Right.
heavily. And I know this is probably going to be something that I'm sure y'all aren't going to like agree with, but hey, this is what I feel.
I mean,
right?
well,
Who cares?
the problem is that taxes-
I feel like we should cut taxes on businesses, like large businesses,
Right.
because think of our job, right? They're so focused on like saving money that they will literally be like, hey guys, this thing, if you do this thing, it's $17 an hour. And then you start working and you realize that it's actually
Oh, wait, it's only 15.
Well, like 15, yeah.
Oh,
Or 14.
Oh, snap. Oh.
I mean, I was drawn in when I first started it. I was told $14 an hour. I was like, yeah, I'm making a lot of money. No, I'm working like $20 an hour and I'm making less than minimum wage, right?
So it's like, well, I mean, so if we were to cut taxes on like the big companies, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know that people are like, no, they won't. They'll just pocket the money. But I mean, if they had more money to put into like employees, I wouldn't have like 6 trucks.
They
today,
can still
you know
keep
what I'm
making
saying?
what they
You know what I'm
make.
You had
saying?
6 trucks?
Oh yeah, I had 6 trucks today.
Jesus
I didn't
Christ.
tell you that.
That's crazy.
So they would have more employees, and also they would probably have more of an incentive to have employees that they wouldn't be afraid to lose because you
Right.
know, they swapped those people out who only had 2 trucks. You know what I'm saying? And then they were like, oh, we don't want to have them be like, oh, this is too much, and then they quit because it's too much work for them to handle. Even though I'm doing 3 times as much work as they're doing, and I'm getting paid. I don't know, probably the same that they're getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Essentially.
it's like crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I mean, I really think taxes is the issue.
Right.
If-
It starts with the
we're
tax.
working to pay off somebody's debt. We're working to pay off debt.
Right.
And
Our
it's just
life
like
is debt.
it will never
You know what I'm
stop.
saying? Our life.
There's
Life.
so much asset compared to how much money there actually is. And that's why people are like investing in stocks and making up cryptocurrencies, because it's like, man, we got to come up with something that we're already making up the idea of money.
Right, money.
You know what I mean?
Money is already
That's
like a
we got
intrinsic
currency.
value.
We're
Like,
just deciding
we
to
make
agree.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just agreeing that, hey, this milk is $5. But are we really agreeing? Because
Right.
somebody made that price.
All right.
Because money is just is an intangible source of an intangible source of value.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean,
an idea.
Something that
our currency.
It helps
can't
you
really
keep your
use.
word.
Our
Yeah.
currency used to be backed by gold, but then
Right.
they took
Right.
that off, and
Because
now
it was a dumb idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
it
can
was a
actually
good idea to
trade
be
the
backed by
gold.
gold.
Well,
Because
now-
it was a mineral and
Yeah.
you could hold it.
It's,
You know,
it's
but
an actual it's an actual like thing that had value. Like it has
Right.
value all over the world. So once they took it off of that, it was kind of like, okay, what is our money backed by now? It's just like
numbers.
it's just paper.
it's just
It's so-
favors owed.
It's basically like the more. So you have these dollar bills in a pot, right? And it's like each dollar bill in this pot is worth $1 bill. But now we're like, okay, we're gonna double that. So now each dollar in there only is worth half of that.
Yeah.
It's
and
like
then they
if-
just keep adding. If they keep printing and adding to it, it's just gonna lower the
Right.
value.
that's
which is
exactly
kind
how
of
money
what's-
works. Yeah.
Like
going
if there
on
was
right
only
now.
5 people at an auction, you're only battling with 5 people. If there was 25 people at an auction, you're probably gonna end up spending more money because there's more people to battle with. So it's like, wait, where are all these people getting all this money from? Now I gotta spend even more.
Right.
It's like, bro, so the money really, with 5 people, I can spend $5, and odds are maybe not all 4 of them want to spend $5, but if there's 20 more people, odds are there's going to be a higher number of people that are willing to go over $5. So now I'm having to spend more, so that's why my money is not as valuable. They don't want just mine anymore because this guy's willing to pay 8, you know? And it kind of goes back to like, somebody came over to my house visiting. My friend came over and she said, my dad owns some kind of construction company and he says white people are lazy and calls out, so he hires the illegal Mexicans.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, so basically he's the reason why those guys don't have jobs and the illegal, I mean,
The people
what do
coming
you
in
call
and stealing
somebody
jobs.
that's breaking the law?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The illegal aliens coming into country.
It's illegal. I don't
And
care
they're
that you're
taking,
illegal.
You know,
You
I
came here
understand that your
illegally.
country sucks, but
Yeah, it's
making our
like,
country
yeah.
suck even more.
I mean, they can come
I mean,
into the country, just
I
come
mean,
in
yeah.
like
Do
through
it
the front
legally.
door, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Just come in through the front door. Don't just like, oh, we're just going to break in and now you got to
Right.
give us money and we also want benefits and we're going to take some
And you're willing
money
to
from-
live in filth and slop and have 17 people in a house. And maybe I'm being kind of racist. I'm not really meaning this.
It's a
I don't
stereotype.
care at all. You know what I'm saying? But like, I really don't care.
not
Like,
racist.
good for you, dude. You're
it's
working
kind of a
hard.
thing that happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
But at the same time, like, that's a guy that probably complains about the economy and
Right.
taxes. And it's like, bro, you're not helping the
contributing
situation.
to it.
Right.
Exactly.
I
making
mean,
it worse on yourself.
I mean, honestly though, if his employees are actually like that, because I can't say that they are because I don't know them, but if they actually are like that, in that situation, you just have to either try to find why they're doing that, and maybe like
There's
You have
tons
to
of good
look
workers.
you have to look exactly. You have to look at the source problem.
Right.
He was
Like-
basically lying.
And-
He wanted to be able to pay somebody a tiny bit of money.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about our job too much because probably shouldn't. But I will say.
Just don't say the name of the job.
Okay. Well, our boss, I heard our boss say something along the lines of what your friends said. He was like, I've never seen such a lazy group of employees before. I was like, well, dude, look at what you're making us do, right? We're working 7 hours a day on a job that should normally take like 8 or 9 without any break. It's really heavy, and we're coming in at 6 days a week at this point.
And
we're
that's a
making-
really destructive thing to say.
Right, and
That's
you're
gonna
treating
make
us
me-
What
like
an
you've been
asshole.
treating us like crap. All the working conditions are crap, and basically we're making less money than what a full-time person would make in a month. We're doing it.
And it's about
Like
to get
here.
real hectic.
Yeah,
'cause,
it's
you
about
know,
to get
Spend
real worse.
$25 on a coffee pot and say, hey guys, we got a new coffee pot. If anybody wants some coffee, go ahead. Even
Right.
if I don't want any coffee, you just offered me something.
And that's gonna make me
Essentially.
feel bad.
Instead of
I
saying,
need it
you
right
guys
now.
are some of the laziest people. It's like, alright, well, what?
What can you do
What?
to fix it?
F you, dude.
Right?
Like, what do
people
you...
are gonna be like, oh, I'm just not gonna come in then. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
essentially what's been
That's
happening.
that shit.
They're just like, I'm not gonna give you any extra. I'm gonna come in and do the least I have to do because you're not gonna pay me any less. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
You're
you're
not
doing
gonna-
the less that you have to
Right,
do, right?
it's right.
It's like,
amount.
regardless of how you work, you're gonna get paid the same. So why should I do extra work and
Exactly.
just get paid? Like that person over there, they're doing less work than me, but they're getting paid the same. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes even more.
You might like how I work.
That's
but
how the seniority.
I'm here just to get paid.
Actually, how the seniority at our building works. Sometimes the people with who've been there the longest ask for less work, which is usually how it works anywhere in the world that you go. Like, I mean, you have
If you forget, like, dude, you're such an important part of this system. Like, why are you trying to give the least? You know what I mean? And take the most. That's the
Exactly.
worst attitude. You know what I mean? And that's why we have these problems down here. Is because the people that are rich are trying to keep the most and get the least.
Well, they're
And
just
we're like
disconnected.
fighting over.
yeah, they're just disconnected from
Yeah, right.
the situation.
Totally, man. It's like when your corporate tries to make new rules for your job, and they're like, "Dude, you don't work. You don't understand how
Yeah.
much that would be. Like how
And you're not,
how
you're
ridiculous."
not doing
that is."
anything to fix it. You're just trying to brush out
Bark
the
orders.
situation.
I mean, yeah, companies do have. I think companies that have unions, they're very strict like that because of the union. Because a union costs a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of do shiesty shit to like keep some of that money. Because like, imagine, right? They have to pay us more than what other people are paying. You know what I'm saying? They also have to pay for all the benefits and all the extra shit. You know what I'm saying? And of course, they don't want to pay that. They want to like save as much money. Like, okay, think of, I'm not gonna say the names, but so our company, and then like, you know, the
Wish everybody
direct
had
competition that's like like across the street company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The company
You see
that's-
how their equipment is better than our equipment?
Right.
It's because they don't have a union,
And-
so the money that they have goes toward
Right.
the company.
They don't have to pay
Their
for
em-
the same benefits.
Yeah, they don't pay their employees as much as we do. But if you go out there and see them, you can see that their like how their employees interact and like act while they're working, it's not the same as how we act. You know what I'm saying? Their stuff isn't as strict. They're not as like chained down as we are.
Right.
They also don't make as much. So it's kind of like
So
like
about-
a
it's
You want
thing.
more
tipping
money or
scales.
you want more peace at work?
Right? Which one is it? Like, I mean, personally, I'll take the money.
I'll take the money.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take the money. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And you also have the union, so it's kind of
It's a bunch
I
of people
don't-
saying, "I'll
my
take the money."
person-
You know what I mean? So that's why it's just like,
It's just what we think.
Right.
It's just the way we've been trained
It's
to
just
think. We're
the-
just like,
right.
more money equals less problems, right?
right,
No, not at all.
Isn't that crazy, man?
Yeah.
Dude, that's knowledge from the beginning of time.
Right.
I mean, but hey, you know what I'm saying? You have to go for whatever best fits you. I know, like my brother worked at the other company, so he kind of told me like how they get
Okay,
paid
so
less.
you have a
Yes.
good idea.
So, and he told me how like their situation is way like miles easier and simpler than what we are doing. And
Right.
and the work ethic over there is like, you think like people at our place might be lazy, like over there it's like what?
Nothing.
How do you have that
Sloths.
job then? If,
Right.
You know, people are just like, you only have like 2 people coming in and on time. I mean, we have people coming in late, but it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we
So
got
it's
enough
kinda-
people to hold it down while that person doesn't do it.
while the late person comes in, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like 2 people, and you need to have like what 10 or 15 people at least. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of like okay, which one?
What should we do here?
Yeah, speaking of the number of people, I think the economic financial problem actually stems from there just being too many damn people.
Yeah.
Well,
in the world.
We do have.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like there's not enough cows
another one of my
and
things.
vegetables to go around, and that's why we're mass producing all this stuff. And now everything's cheap, like blown up, like cotton candy.
There's another one of my things when I was doing like last week with him. He was like, you know, you said like climate change and stuff. And I was like,
we're talking about climate change.
Well, here's another actually moment. That whole thing about us being overpopulated.
Oh well, we're not exactly overpopulated yet.
Yeah, we're not.
But
We're not overpopulated.
we're getting there.
Cities
if we don't
are like overcrowded. Like everybody consolidates into like spaces. You know what I'm saying? So if like there is space in the world. Like if everybody, I think I read if everybody on the entire planet could fit in Texas and have like plenty of space to live, like have like their own like yard and everything, like everybody on the planet could fit in Texas, you know what I'm saying? But it's just that people live in like these super compact cities that people are like, oh, it's so overcrowded. Like if you like California, so
it's like places like
overcrowded.
the desert. It's like, what are we doing with the desert? Like I'm sure that we could find some kind of irrigation system.
You could
put
definitely.
It in it, you know what I'm saying?
That California is the desert. Like people forget that, but it's the desert.
I've never been there.
California is a desert.
Yeah, it's
Dang.
and
But
that's
still,
why they're always like, oh, we have a drought, but that's
Saw
not because if it's a desert.
Snowboarding in California, is that a real thing?
Well, it could, like the north side of California,
Oh,
because it's like a long ass
California
state.
is like the East Coast.
Right? Yeah.
California has 2 different time zones.
the
Like,
West
you know what I'm
Coast.
saying?
yeah.
But yeah, like that. It's sort of why they have the drought, but it's not like, I mean, they live right next to the ocean, so I don't know why they can't just be like, hey, we're gonna purify the water. Oh, it's too expensive, but we'll you know, spend money on you know, transgendering your child. Hey, that works. What? Like, what the fuck?
Dude, I haven't thought about it. Like, to switch over to mutilate your genitals. Do you hate that
Gender?
You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you hate it and you are running from it? And it's like, because like, does your soul really have a gender? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think there's only 2 genders.
Well, clearly.
I think there's only 2 sexes.
There's only 2.
There's only
Gender-
2 types of genitals.
Gender is a man-made word that we use to describe a state of mind, I think.
Okay.
Sex is
That makes more
biologically explained. Sex exists and is an undeniable fact. There is a third sex that sometimes happens, rarely, where you have people...
Talking about intersex? Or something like that?
You have people born with either both parts or neither part.
But even that is still just two
like
of one.
It's 2 in 1, yeah. It exists.
Right.
You
It's
can
not like a
prove
new kind.
You're either born with ovaries or you're born with the extra Y chromosome
You have
with a
the
dick.
pole or
They're
the
either in
hole,
you or out of you.
Yeah.
and then maybe there's like this third one where it's
Gender-
like a Taurus. No, that's not.
Gender can exist in multiple forms, but at the end of the day, I think that we have way by far stretched the true meaning of what gender was supposed to be, and
I think everybody just wants attention. Now the world.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I think people want to feel special. That's exactly the point.
Just like everything.
I think a lot of it is just people want attention.
There's
they want
no
to
way
feel
to get
like
attention
that
anymore.
guy. You know,
Right,
they want to feel like the main character. in
Yeah,
some
totally,
anime or something.
exactly. I'm
the
I
main
do that
character of
shit.
my life. Yeah, it's like, but you have to think about it like this, and you don't need to like label yourself, which is kind of ironic because they use labels to define themselves, but they hate when people label them, right?
It doesn't
Right, yeah,
make
it's like-
sense, dude.
it's like
It's
they just-
chaos.
They come up with like bullshit. It's bullshit, like out of the
Yeah.
air.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't think y'all guys have a Twitter, but if you've been up there and you've seen like these TikTok videos with like, I am cake
Yeah.
sexual.
Cake
Like that's
sexual.
they literally
Dude.
someone said I am cake sexual. Cake sexual.
What does that
Someone
mean?
in
Like,
my
like
someone in a Discord.
Cake gender and
Like
allosexual, and it's like crazy. Like what are the what?
Yeah,
what
someone-
What
where
is
are these
this?
Someone in
coming
a
from?
Discord I was in a while ago, and I don't even know what they're doing now. They were one of those people. They described themselves as Luciokin from Overwatch, and was like,
Oh my
But
god.
that's a fictional character. How can you be related to someone from a made up storyline?
No.
I don't understand.
Dude,
no.
once one person is allowed to make a new one and actually we have to fucking take it serious, we're all being asked to be just as delusional as they are.
Right.
And now
they're like
you
trying to
have
force
to let
yes.
everybody have their own.
Right.
We have our own.
And the thing
I
is,
didn't get to pick what I was born with.
Right.
There is no choice.
That's sex.
if you try to ask them like how many, it's like infinite, and that doesn't make sense.
You
Like,
can be whatever
and
the
some
fuck
of these
you
people
want to
are
be,
like,
dude. If,
hey,
if your
you know,
gender is just as unique as your mind, no one is.
no,
gonna be the same.
it's
No.
never gonna.
It's never gonna
end.
stop.
Yeah, dude.
It's
It's
never
never
gonna
gonna
end.
It's
stop.
like, yeah, everybody matters, and we should all be valuing each other. Which brings back
But
to
you
that.
can't be the
Maybe
same
we're
thing
all
as me.
just such assholes
Right.
that everybody just wants to be different and be away from what things used to be and just matter somehow in some way.
Right. And we all want that, but there are better ways of going about it,
Yeah.
I think.
You shouldn't force it on people. Just
I read
be
a
like,
car. Yeah.
Just let it happen. Just be yourself. Like,
Well,
you don't have to like
okay,
rub it in somebody's face.
We're probably
Just
getting
like,
a little.
right.
We've gone a little too off topic here. We kind of started with taxation, now we're on gender
Now we're
politics.
right.
But
Hey, yeah.
one thing I will say about that, one of the reasons
Then
Then
we'll
why.
get next.
then we'll
man.
get into the
Yeah.
the actual topics.
Yeah,
There.
one day we'll get to what we were supposed to talk about in this podcast. But okay, so but I will say, and I'm not using this as like making it a fair argument for it, but like the reason why, and I will say this, the reason why they've been trying, I think, for a long time to force that stuff is because it's a legal issue sometimes. Like on your passport, where you're trying to open a bank account or something, and your face is different because you had a sex change or something like that, and that makes sense. But then you go and dye your hair pink, get a bunch of fucking makeup on your face, gain 100 pounds or some shit, and you try and open a bank account or some shit, and classify yourself as a certain gender, and then it won't let you.
Right.
Now that is a bit ridiculous, right?
We're gonna go back into this because
Right. This is a
actually
discussion
one of the
for.
topics.
This
that I
is
was,
going
like,
to be
gonna
a discussion.
talking about,
Yeah,
so.
it's going to be a discussion for
You know what I'm
later.
saying?
But that's what I'm saying. That's probably the reason why it became such a big issue at one point. But then they tried to like up in Canada, they tried to make certain college professors. They tried to force them to use pronouns that
Yeah.
and that took away freedom of speech.
Hell yeah.
That's like another part of
And they're
why.
trying to do
Every
that shit
right
here.
is an
became-
impediment on other rights.
Right. And that's one of the things that people were trying to force
It's a right if you
into the law.
force it on, like, force something on somebody
Mm-hmm.
that they're like.
Like my right to speak
what?
out loud is it takes away from your right to not have to hear me scream loud.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
like I have to be willing and understanding. It is a responsibility to be a citizen. Mm-hmm. And it's not a victimization where you're just a baby that's supposed to get a bunch of free shit from the government.
Exactly.
Correct. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you are enjoying the show, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment down below to show us how you really feel.
Given that you're enjoying the show, you can show your support by heading over to our merch shop. Follow the link below and just buy something. We will greatly appreciate it.